Su Lin's visit to China is over. China and Vietnam finalized three major cooperations. What are the three? First, Vietjet Air will lease 10 C909 regional passenger jets from China. Second, they will promote the full integration of three major standard gauge railway lines. Third, they will expand the use of local currency settlement in foreign trade. Announcing these three deals is like Vietnam telling the world something. From now on, they'll use Chinese planes. Their railways will connect with China's, and they'll use RMB for trade settlements. Why did Vietnam agree to this? What do these three cooperations mean for both sides? Let's start with the C909 passenger jet. Why did Vietnam choose China's C909? Why not keep buying Boeing or Airbus? The reason is very simple. They can't wait, and they can't afford it. As of late January 2026, Boeing's undelivered order backlog is 6,777 planes. Airbus's 8,783 planes. The backlog schedule exceeds 11 years. Based on Boeing's 2025 delivery target of 600 planes and Airbus 793, even if Vietnam orders now, they won't get the planes until at least 2030. But Vietnam can't wait that long. They don't have high-speed rail. Domestic medium and long-distance transport heavily relies on planes. Vietnam urgently needs to expand its fleet to meet surging travel demand. In this context, China's C909 regional jet becomes their best option. Vietnam isn't unfamiliar with the C909 either. In April 2025, Chengdu Airlines leased two of its C909s to Vietjet Air. They flew routes from Hanoi to Qingdao and Ho Chi Minh City. Before that, the C909 had already entered commercial service in China, Indonesia, Laos, and other countries. Its safety and short takeoff, landing capabilities are perfect for Vietnam's complex terrain. Also, the financial leasing method means Vietnam doesn't have to pay hundreds of millions of dollars upfront. Leasing instead of buying greatly eases Vietnam's financial pressure. Now, let's look at the railway integration. The direct impact is that Guangxi will become the toll gate for China-Vietnam cross-border logistics. For a long time, rail transport between China and Vietnam had a fatal flaw. Vietnam uses the meter gauge tracks left from the colonial era. China uses the 1,435 mm standard gauge. This means cross-border freight must be unloaded and have its wheels changed at the border. Time and cost increase significantly. More awkwardly, Vietnam doesn't have the capability to build the standard gauge tracks itself. Decades passed, and the two sides still couldn't connect. But this issue was finally settled under Su Lin. Three railway lines will fully adopt China's 1,435 mm standard gauge, the Dongdang to Hanoi line, the Mengcai to Helongbei to Hefeng line, and the Laocai to Hanoi to Hefeng line. The design speed is up to 160 km per hour. After the integration is complete, trains won't need wheel changes at the Friendship Pass. Starting from Vietnam, trains can go north into China, west into Central Asia, and straight to Europe. This is especially good news for Guangxi. Once this railway is connected, industrial products and machinery equipment from China to Vietnam and agricultural products from Vietnam to China will all flow through this major artery. Guangxi, as a middle node, will collect fees, goods transit fees, storage and logistics fees, port service fees. Just lying there collecting these tolls will be a substantial fiscal income. The key is, the more frequent bilateral trade becomes, the more Guangxi earns. Behind the railway integration is clearly installing a super money printing machine for Guangxi. Besides tolls, Guangxi local culture and tourism will also be busy. China and Vietnam have officially launched the 2026 to 2027 Vietnam-China Tourism Cooperation Year. Chinese tourists can take high-speed rail to Guangxi, then transfer to an international train straight to Hanoi. The first stop for Vietnamese tourists heading north will be Guilin, Guangshi. This scene will play out frequently soon. By then, bilateral passenger flow will surge. Guangxi's hotels, restaurants, and scenic spots will be fully booked. Economic growth is expected to speed up. Finally, let's look at China-Vietnam foreign trade using local currency settlement. The so-called local currency settlement won't use the Vietnamese dong. It essentially means using RMB. This is hugely significant for all Chinese companies investing in Vietnam. In the past, what did Chinese factory owners in Vietnam earn? Vietnamese dong. To buy raw materials, they had to convert to US dollars. To bring profits home, they had to convert to RMB again. Any exchange rate fluctuation could create huge risks. After using RMB settlement, Chinese companies can directly use RMB to pay salaries, purchase raw materials, and settle project payments. No more getting squeezed by dollar exchange rate differences. More importantly, with this change, Vietnamese assets will be directly priced in RMB. This is a huge benefit for Chinese capital ready to buy assets at low prices in Vietnam. It avoids asset shrinkage caused by exchange rate volatility. The three major cooperations finalized during Su Lin's visit to China represent a strategic turning point for Vietnam. It's like catching the Chinese express train. It also directly unblocks Guangxi's economic channels. Guangxi has officially become the golden hub on three key lines between China and Vietnam: aviation, railways, and currency.